So we were still on the three variable or category something. Now it's a general approach. When you have the question, it's about you knowing how to go about it, right? So I'm trying, though we are doing like specific questions, I'm trying to generalize it so that when you have the question, you think of it that way and then you do it. So let me go back. So we were finding the maximum age of participants with hemoglobin AA. So, you know, I've said it before, the age is a continuous variable now. So we can't run frequencies like how many, what percentage, and those kind of things. We won't do that for age. For age, we'll be interested in something like mean, median, and the rest. So when a continuous variable like age, for example, or maybe BMI, is being coupled with other categorical variables, we'll deal with the categorical variables and then run frequencies for the continuous. So for example, we have to find the maximum age of the participants with hemoglobin AA. So this one, we are going to work with only two variables. That's the genotype and the age. So we can select cases for, okay, we've already done that for genotype 1. And then, okay, then we can run or analyze the age. So frequencies, age. When you come to statistics, we wanted the percentiles. So, and like what is there now, we want to find the maximum age of the participants with hemoglobin AA. Since we've selected cases for hemoglobin AA, we'll just come to maximum. And then, okay. So the maximum is 35, meaning the maximum age with those who have hemoglobin AA, the maximum age or the highest age is 35. So it's like that. Some questions will require you to recode. For example, it says how many people had SHS integrated science score less than 65%. So with this one, we are dealing with the whole population. Say how many people, right? But then we are referring to the science as a subject. Those who had below 65. So below 65 is somewhere from 0 to say 64.99 based on our SPSS. That's how we are supposed to do it. So this question will require us to code again the subject, which is science. So what we'll do is we have our science here, the score, SHS integrated science score. So we will recode this into a new variable. Remember I said when you have continuous variables and then you want to give them labels, before we can select those who had over 65 or more than 65 or less than 65. We'll have to assign them a value and a label. But this is a continuous variable. We don't have a label. So what we can do is to convert it into what? A categorical variable, or categorize it, give it a label. Then we can do select cases or split file or cross tabs. So we are going to recode this into a different variable. So come to transform, recode into different variables. Then we did BMI, let us put BMI away. Then What are we dealing with now? SHS integrated science. So we move it in. Now we want to recode it into a different variable. Because we are in a hurry, just label it as anything you want. So let me just make it science. And the label will also be science. That sounds clear. The label will also be science. Then we click on change. So when we change, we will come to our old and new variables. And like I said, this is a range. This is less than or equal to, and then greater than or equal to. Now we want those who had less than 65. And I said, based on our data we have here, we have to make it 64.99 because 65, those who have 65 didn't get less than 65, if you get what I mean. And we have two decimal places for the science course, 81.50.2588. So let's come to old and new variables. So we can see that, okay, all those who had from 0 to 64.99, they had below 65. So we assign them a value of 1. Sorry, let me remove this. So we can see that all those who had value of 0 to 64.99, they are the ones who had below 65. We assign it as 1, and then we add. This is what we are interested in. Because of time, right? We can just code any other values as 2, right? Then we add, and then we can continue and press OK. Now that we've categorized it, when we come to variable view, we'll see our categorical variable there with the 3 balloons. Then we don't need the decimal places. It's just a label. So we make it 0 decimal places. Then we can come to values. Now, 1 was those who had 0 to 64.99, or those who had less than 65. So let's just make it maybe less than 65. Then we add, and then we made to any other. You can just, because we are in a hurry. So we'll just add this, then we can go to OK. So now we want the number of people who scored less than 65. So we can select cases for those who are less than 65, which we have coded in science as 1. Then we can run the frequencies for the SHS science score, right? Or we can split cases. Now that we have only 2, we have those who have less than 65 and others. So we can just split case for that one and then run the frequencies for the examination score, right? So let's select cases. So shoot, I forgot to. So we select cases. Then we are supposed to select the science, which we coded. And then those who had less than 65, we coded as 1. So science equals 1. That means we are selecting cases for those people. We continue and OK. Then we can come here and then analyze the science scores. We can analyze the science course. Wait, there's a mistake I made. It says how many people have less than 65. So it means we are dealing with only one variable. We are dealing with only one variable. So we can just select cases, or in this case, select case is not even important. Let's reset. The question is how many people had SHS integrated science for less than 65. So since we have categorized it, we can just run frequencies for the category that we've made. And that's all. Because if we go and run frequencies for the sign scores, they will give us every score and the percentage, and that's not what we want. So there's an error there. Instead of going to run frequencies for the sign scores, since we have categorized it, we can just run frequencies for the science category that we've made, and then now just give us the numbers. So we can just go to analyze descriptive statistics frequencies. We have to make sure split file and select cases are all off, right? Then we can just choose our science, push it in, and then press OK. So now this is going to give us the number of people who are less than 65 as what? 6, and their percentage as 1.4% or their proportion. So when you have a question like how many people had SHS integrated science score less than 65, you have to recode it again. So we recoded, and now we have the categorical variable. So how many? Initially, I told you when we are dealing with frequencies like how many percentage, then we are dealing with categorical variables. When we are dealing with continuous, then that's when we'll be dealing with mean and the rest. So we don't have to go back and run frequencies for the science course. We just run frequencies for the category that we made, and that will give us the number. Um, so let's just do.
So this is in continuous variable.
Yeah. So we just made the categorical. So for example, let's just do one last question. The rest are just what we will apply, will be applying, we'll just be applying. Like what is the minimum family income of participants in level 100? So we can just go to select cases and we select level 100, right? And then we can run frequencies for the family income. You get it? What is the modal BMI? This is just BMI. So you can just go to BMI. You can just go to analyze. Let me check if everything is off. What is the modal BMI? We can just go to analyze, descriptive statistics, frequencies, pick signs out, push in BMI. And this is a continuous variable. So we are interested in these things. So what is the modal? We just mode. Continue and okay. And our mode is going to be 6.67. So based on the parameters you have, you just have to combine them. If there are 3, select cases for 2, run frequencies for 1. If there are 4, you do the same thing. 3, run frequency for 1, right? And then if it's only 1, you just go straight to analyze. Now with the inferential statistics, that is where we came to compare means, and then we had one sample t-test, independent t-test, and the rest, one way and over. They have their explanations differently, and then it's based on the question. But then now that you have the general overview of the SPSS, I think coming here is not a problem. So I'll just probably send you links to videos, already made videos on the one sample t-test, independent t-test, and the one way and over and the rest, explaining the concept and why we do it, what type of question will make you come and run one sample t-test or independent t-test. And I think we are good to go. So we've done the basics where you have to combine variables, find frequencies and means and whatever. And then the inferential starts where I'll send a video and then we'll be clear. So thank you all for joining. Bye-bye.